Hello, I am Rebecca Swift, and I am going to be doing what I've learned from chapter 9 and 10. I chose one section from each chapter to cover more thoroughly. I'm starting out with chapter 9, and what I have started with is I'm doing the section on prepare for a test. So I made a little kind of diagram set up here to remind me of the different steps of preparing for a test. So over here, we start out with build a sensible study schedule. So one of the tips of that is using your syllabus, applying that to calendar, and setting up a good study schedule for that. And you want to space out your time for studying to make sure that you get as much out of it as you possibly can. Then we go over use your study skills, like making flashcards, using that to study and reviewing your review sheets, also practicing tests for your science and math, also getting together as a study group to help your studying. Also, know the exam format. So first you can check the syllabus to see if you have an idea of what type of exam will be given. You can also ask the instructor, and you could ask the instructor, are the exams cumulative? So is it just going to be covering that chapter, or will be covering everything you've learned up to that chapter? You can also review previous exams. So sometimes this can be difficult if the instructor doesn't make them available to do that. But you can ask the instructor about that. You can also, a lot of times if it's in class, the instructor will go over the exams and you can review it in class. You can also review it with a study group if you have that opportunity. Also, it's important to stay healthy. So even though you are preparing for a test, it is not a good idea to cram one night eating a bunch of chips and soda, staying up till 2 a.m. when you have a test the next day. It is better to stay on your routine, keep a healthy mindset, eating healthy foods, getting plenty of sleep, and also keeping up with your exercise routine if you can. And also make sure that you have your alarm set so that you don't get a bad start to the day by being late and having to rush around, and it gives you time to review before your exam. You can also talk with your instructor and to prepare for the class or for the exam. So if you have some questions about what to expect on the exam, you can set up a time with your instructor during their office hours or do a Zoom meeting, something along those lines to find that out. Okay, and that is it for chapter 9. So we're going to move over to chapter 10. And so I've got some little flashcards on presenting. I'll be presenting with. I'll be using this to kind of follow along some notes that I've got for myself. So I am doing present in class with confidence. I hope I am emulating that right now. You want to make sure you give yourself plenty of time to prepare for it. And as it says here, follow these tips to help you gain confidence when doing a presentation. So most of my little doodles here are going to be some stick figure examples. So first you want to know your purpose and your audience. So in my case, my purpose is to show everyone what I have learned from chapter 10. And you want to know if the individuals are aware of what you're talking about or if this is going to all be new information for them. You also like to know how many people are involved. It can give you an opportunity to set up a different kind of presentation. Like if you have a large group of people, you most likely have to stand at the front and present that way. Or if you have a smaller group of people, you can get a little creative and do more to catch their attention. You also want to craft your presentation. If you can use visual aids, it helps to be able to do that. So you can take the time to create some visual aids. You also, when you're doing a presentation, it's going to typically have a thesis statement, information going on that, and your conclusion. So you want to prepare all of that for your presentation. And You will want to practice your presentation. You can take different opportunities to do this. You can do it in front of an audience at home, maybe in front of some classmates, or just get up and do it in front of your pets or on your own, as long as you get some practice in for it. You also want to time it to make sure it's going to fit into the allotted time for your presentation. It's also good to try it out your voice level to make sure that's coming out across so that you're not too quiet and people can't hear you. Also practice your body language to emit confidence. You don't want to keep your head down reading from cards. You want to try to keep your head up and show people that you are prepared for this presentation and give them an idea that you know what you're talking about. Okay, so we also have in here, it's deliver a great presentation. So the chapter mentions look the part, so you want to dress well. Don't come in with unkept hair. So you can check yourself in the mirror before you go and make sure you're good. Also get there early. I use one of the sayings I learned from one of my teachers in high school: early is on time is late, and late is just late. So I always use that for example for being early. You also can take the time to breathe and visualize before you give your presentation. Take a moment, take yourself to a nice calm place. You can get your wits about you and breathe so you can go up and feel more confident. I also like using the Superman pose example. I don't know if anyone's ever seen that TED Talk, but taking a couple minutes, even a few seconds, just standing up and doing the Superman pose can help give you some confidence going into your presentation. Now, one of the last sections on presenting class with confidence is harness the potential of tech, present online, which that's all we do, so I thought that was a great section that we have here. And that can include, so I have a stick figure here because it encourages camera use. So doing a video or getting on the camera to do your presentation. There's also incorporate polls so that your audience can get involved with the presentation, and that helps make sure that they're staying. Yeah, so adding polls can help people stay involved and show that they're paying attention as well. And last, it mentions utilizing chat when you're presenting online or using tech. Again, a way for everyone to interact while you're giving your presentation and get some feedback about what you're presenting and see if anyone has any questions. All right, that's all for my presentation, and thank you for listening. I hope you all have a great day.